everybody. Madam Clerk?
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6, at set, notice of which was sent to the record and the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Here.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And with that, tonight we have a very, very special proclamation to give. If Reverend Jackson, if you'd please come up here, please. As most people in this room know, Reverend Jackson's been a staple in Hackensack for the last 35 plus years as the pastor of Mount Olive Baptist Church. He is recently retired from his duties as pastor, soon to be retired, but he's already had a wonderful celebration this Saturday, which was attended by 600 people, if I'm not mistaken, which is incredible. To get 600 people at an event is a testament to himself. Trying to get that to next Sunday? Okay. But in honor of his retirement, the city has prepared a proclamation for him, and it reads, hold up, guys. Whereas the city of Hackensack desires to bestow upon Pastor Gregory Jerome Jackson. I didn't know Jerome was your middle name. I like that name.
Last 68 years.
Last 68. This proclamation in recognition of his 35 years of service with Mount Olive Baptist Church, Hackensack, and whereas for more than 3 decades, Pastor Jackson has provided leadership and spiritual guidance. He has also given that same dedication to the community at large, nationally and internationally. And whereas Reverend Jackson has inspired the community to generously give to people domestically and internationally while encouraging them to be politically aware and seek justice for people worldwide, alongside his wife Barbara Rose, who is in attendance tonight, ma'am, and his children Michael, Monique, and Ashan. And whereas Reverend Jackson has served for more than 20 years on the Bergen County Council of Churches, president of the Fellowship of Black Churches in Hackensack and vicinity, along with serving as president of the Hackensack Board of Education and as a member of the Hackensack Housing Authority. Now, therefore, I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of this City Council, do hereby congratulate Pastor Gregory J. Jackson on his retirement celebration and extend our heartfelt thanks for all his time and commitment to our community. So thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Reverend Jackson. On a personal note, I mean, I know Reverend Jackson for a long time. Our kids went to school together. They were athletes together, grew up together. Did you go to Parker?
Yes.
Went to Parker School together, and I've known him since way back then. But since he's always treated me with the utmost respect since I've been a councilman and a mayor in the city. And he treats everybody with respect. He's one of the most fairest men I've ever met in my life. And I always say when I go into his church, I feel like I'm home, because you make me feel that way when I'm there, and I'm always comfortable there. And it's always a pleasure to be there. But we are going to miss you, and whoever takes your place better have some big feet, because you're going to have to fill some big shoes. And just the service you provided to your flock and to the citizens in this city and all over is just incredible, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Could I get you for a couple pictures up here for your loving bride? Guys?
What's your step?
I don't know if anybody else wanted to say anything. Yes, absolutely. Then we're going to give you a mic to speak to. Oh. You know what, maybe we want to move these things? Are the balloons in the way, Stan? By the way, they're full of cash.
Mr. Mayor and council members and all of the citizens of Hackensack and those persons who are here assembled, thank you so very much for this honor. It's been a wonderful journey over these last almost 36 years being here in Hackensack, and I came when I was 33 years old and thinking I knew everything and learning that I knew very little. But I am so grateful for the people that I have met over these years, the various mayors and council persons and citizens of our community. And my children, our children were educated here, and we're grateful for the investment in our family, and we've tried to invest in our community because we love our community. I am retiring as of December 31st. So January 1, I will be unemployed. But I will plan to be spending some time with our grandchildren. We have 3 granddaughters, and they're going to take up I'm going to be busy. And doing global missions around the world, as I have been doing for a number of years. And then we will be living in Hackensack for as long as we know right now. We'll see how these taxes go and pensions go. But as of now, we'll be here for the foreseeable future. And thank you for this honor. And thank you for, we're grateful for living in a city that we feel safe, and we feel that it's a good place to raise our children, and even if our grandchildren would move back here, which I doubt, we think it would be a wonderful place for them as well, and that they could get they would be safe and they could get a wonderful education to prepare them to live not only in our country, but to live in our world. And so, thanks. God bless you.
For all you guys to know, I would not be a councilman or person or would have never ran if I didn't have Reverend Jackson's blessings. We met across the street when he was getting out of his car, and I said, Rev, I got something to tell you. I said, I think I'm going to run for city council. And he looked at me like, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. And he said, you have my blessings. I'll never forget that. I'm forever grateful. I'm dearly appreciated. I know I'm not going to miss him because I live across the street from the church, and he'll always be around. He's a mile away, so if I ever need him, I got his phone number on speed dial, and I know he'll be there. Thank you.
Amen.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you, sir. We're very proud of you and the work that you do in our community, for our kids, and for all of you, certainly for you. And I will be a mile away, but I will not be across the street. Thank you, Reverend.
All right. So the minutes were already approved. Go right to the city manager's report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This is
Take care, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson.
This is the city manager's report for October 29, 2019. First, friendly reminder, the 2-day per week garbage collection will continue through 2020 calendar year. Slam Dunk the Junk event October 26 was a huge success. We had 37 groups that collected approximately 260 bags of garbage. Thank you to Greg Leosi and Frank Borelli for running this year's event, and to all that participated. Yesterday, October 28th, was the National First Responders Day. We would like to thank all of our first responders for their dedication to a difficult and challenging task that they commit each day, and we truly appreciate all that they do. Health Department is hosting a free rabies clinic for dogs and cats on Thursday, November 7th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at our DPW garage located at 120 East Broadway. The Recreation Department is hosting Senior Holiday Bus Trip, Hackensack residents only. Tickets go on sale Monday, November 18th at 8 a.m. at the Rec Department. Please refer to hackensack.org for details. 6. The Rotary Club is hosting a food drive now through Thanksgiving. Please drop your donations at City Hall lobby. There's a very large cardboard box down by the display case. Please be advised, Teterboro Noise Abatement Office will be hosting a meeting October 30th to provide an update on the runway 19 offset. Approach meeting will take place at 90 Moonachie Avenue, Teterboro, New Jersey. Reference to Hackensack for details. I think Deputy Mayor Catastrino will make some comments later in reference to that because she attends the meetings. The Building Department update, 51 notices written, 69 inspections made, 5 summonses issued, 12 CCOs were done, 12 open requests were fulfilled. The city will be participating in the Veterans Day ceremony on the Green, Monday, November 11th at 11 a.m., and we thank them, all of our veterans, for their service, and we certainly support and ask residents to come out and show the respectful thing for our veterans. And that would complete the city manager's report.
Okay, and with that, we'll go right into business. Resolution 470-19.
This is a resolution for the final adoption of ordinance number 47-2019, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, Vehicles and Traffic, to remove a handicap parking space from Section 49.2, parking for the handicapped, which is 82 Reland Avenue. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay, need a motion to open to the public, please?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public who'd like to speak on this particular ordinance, please come forward. Seeing no members from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? I need a motion to adopt this ordinance.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
None,
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 47-2019 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
thank you. Resolution 471-19.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 48-2019, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, Vehicles and Traffic, to adjust the period of approved time limit parking on a portion of Main Street in Section 170-53, time limit parking. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Thank you. Motion to open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public who'd like to speak on this ordinance, please come forward. Seeing no members from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adopt.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that ordinance 48-2019 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 472-19.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 49-2019, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, Vehicles and Traffic, to add a new handicap parking space in Section 49.2, parking for the handicapped for Clay Street. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to 472-19, please come forward. Seeing no one from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. I need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 49-2019 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 473-19.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 50-2019, a bond ordinance providing for the city's Main Street combined sewer separation project by and in the city of Hackensack and the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, appropriating $6,500,000 in bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to Resolution 473-19, please come forward. State your name, please.
Richard Salk in Hackensack. I know you have to pass this because I know you're under a mandate to further the city's separation of sewers. But as I spoke at the recent meeting, the level of bonding, the level of debt in the city is getting very scary. You increased debt in the city this year by 32%. And it's unfortunate your CFO is not here tonight because he has maintained that there'll be no increase in terms of debt service vis-a-vis the budget. That sounds way too good to be true, so I'm kind of skeptical. But I have a question along those lines, and again, he's not here, maybe you know. Is that statement that there's no problem with the debt service based on anticipating revenues from pilot programs? Does anybody know?
Yes, and it's no.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay. Your lips to God's ears, thank you. Be careful when you're,
Here, happy
I
holiday.
don't touch this.
Okay.
But thank you.
I want you to be happy.
Seeing you makes my day.
There you go.
You know,
Just nothing but love.
I'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Seeing no one else from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No one opposed. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 50-2019 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Okay. I am going to step down for Resolution 474-19. Would you take over,
Okay.
Deputy Mayor?
Resolution 474-19.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 52-2019, an ordinance to authorize the grant of an easement to the Hackensack University Medical Center for an encroachment on the city's right-of-way along Second Street. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
May I have a motion to open to the public? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Seeing none. Anyone who would wish to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please step forward.
Yes, Kathleen Salvo, Hackensack. Just a clarification. Why is this needed? Is it between Essex and Atlantic, or is it Atlantic the other way? Which portion of Second Street is it
Kathy?
Would you like me to speak to it?
involved?
Answer.
Oh, yeah, feel free.
Basically, what this is there's two parts to it. One of it
We
is-
can hear you, your mic is not on.
It is on, but I guess I'm not, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Okay. There's two parts to it. One of it is actually replacing two wayfinding signs. You know, the signs that are present there that are saying, little arrows saying Children's Hospital or Cancer Center. Those signs were already there.
Okay.
And they had to come down during construction.
Oh.
So they will come back, but they will be back in the same or if not a very close position, so we have to approve it
Oh, so
again.
it's just a little bit change.
Correct. The other is about two retaining walls, and these retaining walls are supporting the new entrance on Second Street, so it would be between Essex Street and Atlantic. Okay, so where currently one of those retaining walls, the larger of the two, is again already in existence at that same spot, but had to be taken down and will be rebuilt in that same spot. But it is, partially, very slightly in the city right away. And the other one, there is a second one on the opposite side of the entrance, which is new, but it will be at the same depth as the other one, and it's very small. It's only a 5-foot retaining wall.
So when you say new entrance, is this a main entrance or another
Yes,
entrance?
yes.
Putting the entrance on
There,
Second Street?
there'll be two. So now again, to help ease traffic and congestion,
wow.
sometimes you'll be, depending on where you're going, you may enter on the existing entrance coming from Prospect, and there'll also be a second entrance on Second Street. The
So how will
garage
they know
on
which
Second
one to
Street.
enter?
Excuse me?
How will the people know which one to enter?
When you get your notice of where you're going into the hospital, they will tell you that you will enter via this entrance or enter via the other entrance, depend on what you're there for, what your purpose is.
So to access Second Street, you'd have to come in from Essex or Atlantic, so there would be no left on, if you're coming down Essex Street, you wouldn't want to go across traffic, so there'd be no left turn there. You're going to make it so that it's less...
They can't make a left turn out onto Essex as they
Right,
can
and you can't make a
now.
left turn in if you're coming from the other way.
They can make a left now, I believe.
Yeah, it hasn't been open in months.
Right, but I believe that they can. And that Second Street garage will now, which is currently now only for hospital employees, will be a mix of both. So you'll have,
So if people come for the first time, again, is it going to be a main
Kathleen, there's going to be
entrance?
there's going to be lots of instructions and directions sent by the hospital as to
And
where you
emergency
go
room
and which
entrance
way you
would be-
enter. Emergency room entrance, where it is. This is just a secondary entrance into the hospital.
Okay, thank you.
There'll be a pull-in, a drop-off if you were at the planning board. The rendering is lovely. Anyone else have any questions? All right, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Saying none. Can I have a motion to approve?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor? Do we have to do a roll call, Deb, because John's
I
abstaining?
would,
All right,
yeah.
so let's do a roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
And Mayor LaBrosse is recused.
Welcome back, Mayor.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 52-2019 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 475-19.
This is a resolution for introduction of ordinance number 53-2019, a bond ordinance providing for improvements to the Voorhees Lane sanitary sewer pump station buy-in in the city of Hackensack in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, appropriating $1,200,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $375,000 in bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof.
Okay. Need a motion to introduce the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 53-2019 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on November 12th, 2019 at 8:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council. At such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 476-19.
This is a resolution authorizing a tax refund for duplicate payments and state board judgments.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 477-19.
A resolution authorizing tax appeal attorney to settle the cases on the attached list dated October 29th, 2019, that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. 478-19.
This is a resolution authorizing the execution of an interlocal agreement with the Borough of Paramus for the maintenance and repair of vehicles for the fire department.
Need a motion, please?
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. 479-19.
This is a resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation as per NJSA 40A:4-87, Bergen County Utilities Authority, otherwise known as the BCUA, for the 2019 Recycling Enhancement Grant.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Excuse me. Resolution 480-19.
This is a resolution authorizing a change order number 1 to Roberts Engineering for Main Street Streetscape North project.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're pulling 481-19.
We are?
Leo?
Are we?
Leo, are we pulling this one?
But do you want to play that?
Yes, there is a additional service charge by Darmafowski Engineering for the oversight of the soccer field at Johnson Park. We had some problems with Shaw on the installation because basically what Shaw did, they didn't put a manager in there on the project, so they had the installers put it in. They installed the field at the wrong location. We had to open it up and move it. Then they forgot a piece of it, and then they had to do. So that extended the period of time. Darmafowski Engineering is the overseer of the project, so they had their inspector on scene for this. So this money is not going to Shaw. This money is the overcharge for Darmafowski Engineering. However, Darmafowski Engineering sent an additional bill charge back to Shaw for this. So we're just compensating our engineer that was hired for this project. This money's not going to Shaw.
Shouldn't Shaw pay for this? It was their mistake that caused this.
Shaw was back charged for, and I'm receiving money back from Shaw
To cover
compensate
this. Okay, so we're not really paying for this.
Correct.
Okay, so then, Leo, you okay with it?
I have to be okay.
As long as we don't pay for it.
It's
I am
We're
sure
not
on
paying for it,
this.
it should be okay.
I'm
that's
sure.
what I said.
All right,
Gonna show me
That's
the
okay.
check, right?
Resolution
Not a
481-19.
This is a resolution authorizing change order number 1 to Darmafowski Engineering for Johnson Park Turf Field Replacement Project.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Resolution 482-19.
This is a resolution awarding contract for engineering surveying services to Neglia Engineering Associates for the Pine Street Drainage
Need a
Project.
motion, please.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Excuse me. Resolution 483-19.
A resolution authorizing award of contract for engineering services to Darmafowski Engineering Associates for the Fashini Park Drainage Check Valve Project.
Need a motion.
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Resolution 484-19, payment of bills.
Resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Offer.
Need a motion.
Beat you to it, offer.
Need- Second by Stephanie. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed. Anybody else besides me have a conflict with the consent agenda? I asked that Resolution 489-19 be pulled and read separate.
The following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of resolutions 485-19 through 490-19, with the exception of 489-19, which was pulled. Resolution 485-19 is a resolution approving the memorandum of understanding between the City of Hackensack and IBEW Local 1158 Electrical Workers, Local 1158 for Public Safety Telecommunicators. Resolution 486-19 is a resolution authorizing a leave of absence without pay for 6 weeks for Caitlin O'Neill, who's a police officer. Resolution 487-19 is a resolution authorizing recreation refunds for park permits and basketball clinic registration. Resolution 488-19 is a resolution authorizing a person-to-person, place-to-place liquor license transfer of RTC Restaurant Corp. LLC to Riverside Restaurant Partners LLC. 489-19 has been pulled. 490-19 is a resolution authorizing leave of absence without pay for 6 weeks for Marta Jovel, Deputy Registrar Bilingual. So we need a motion for the,
Need a motion to accept the consent agenda as it was read.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Now Resolution 489-19, please.
This is a resolution authorizing raffle licenses for Bergen Catholic Athletic Association and Hackensack University Medical Center.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Need a roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims. Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy, Mayor LaBrus.
I abstain. Okay. So that is the business. Need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer. Second.
All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public would like to speak, please come forward. Give your name to the clerk. You will have 3 minutes. Thank you. Don't all rush at once, guys. Come on.
But we had no one there.
Yeah. Almost banged the gavel.
I'll be first since nobody is rushing. All right, good evening, council. My name is Randy Glover. I'm the owner and creator and producer of the Stolen Main Street live concert series, now called The Sounds of Summer, held at Atlantic Street Park. I would like to address Mayor LaBrus, John, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. You received letters from the NAACP, the Urban League, and the religious community asking you to meet with them concerning this issue of my concerts and the city's actions. And if it's, as of yet, I believe no meeting has been arranged. You know I have already filed a tort claim advising the city of Hackensack of pending legal action. But tonight, I just want to say, John, you are a decent person. Although we differ on this issue, I personally like and respect you and believe you and Debbie are wonderful people. I hope that this issue can be resolved amicably without putting our city in another legal dispute. People believe that because I'm a black man, I should have a relationship with Deputy Mayor Sims. I don't. I came to realize very early on that you relate to people better than most understand. Basically, I'm asking for you to do the right thing. Don't be like good cops who watch bad cops do bad things. You're better than that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, please.
Martin Smith, 245 Prospect Avenue, Hackensack. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Ehrenberg for following through on his contacting the traffic department concerning designated crosswalks. I did receive a call from the traffic department. We had a conversation on the phone. They told me that they would go ahead, but there was not enough money in this year's budget to take care of the requested designated crosswalks for Prospect Avenue, but it would be taken care of in the 2020 budget. So hopefully that will occur. So thank you, Mr. Ehrenberg, for following through on that for me. The chairman and the secretary of the Condo Co-op Advisory Board has asked me to ask you this question tonight. They told me that 2 years ago they appeared before the council, and at that time they explained to you that there was a lack of adequate lighting on Prospect Avenue. And they were told at that time, apparently, this is before I came on the Condo Co-op Advisory Board, that the council would contact PSE&G in relationship to this problem. Now, I don't know if the council did contact PSE&G or not. If you did, we haven't heard anything about what would be done in regard to this. If you haven't contacted PSE&G, I'm wondering why it hasn't been done. Do you have any information on that?
We'd have to look back, because it would have been done through, I don't think Mr. Ehrenberg was the city manager at the time.
I can tell you explicitly, because I have lots of notes, that request was never made since my tenure. I had a conversation today with Mr. Hollenbach from PSE&G. I will follow up and get you an answer. I've never heard that. Not that it's not a bad suggestion. We're in the same camp here, but that was
It was
never
probably
transferred
another
to me,
city
but
manager.
but
Well, this is before I came on the condo advisory board, so it's news to me, and I'm just passing along the question.
I will do the investigation and get back and
Thank
publicly
you.
acknowledge the results.
Okay. One other thing. I've been pushing the council on designated crosswalks. I noticed that on Central Avenue at 2nd Street, where the church is located, there are designated crosswalks on Central, on the west and on the east side of 2nd Street, with stanchions at each designated crosswalk. On Summit Avenue, where the synagogue is located, there is one designated crosswalk on Summit on the south side of Golf Place. There is no corresponding designated crosswalk on Summit. On the north side of Golf Place, and there's no stanchion there. I'm wondering what the traffic department's idea is in not having adequate designated crosswalks and stanchions at houses of worship in the city.
I will definitely have the city manager check that out. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Next, please.
Richard Salkin, Hackensack, New Jersey. Mayor, you've been on the council 10 years now. You've seen basically everything there is to be seen, I think. You know about ordinances, you know about resolutions. You may even recall that there's emergency powers. You appoint someone, usually in the fire department, to be your emergency. So if emergency strikes, especially after 9/11, someone can issue emergency. Have you ever heard about executive orders under this form of government? Because I watched the last meeting, and with all due respect to the city manager, I heard something about a revision to an executive order. So I don't really think that exists under our form of government. Wait, I'm not finished.
I know.
I'd like a response. Then I opened the executive order. And what it says, it pertains, of course, to the food trucks. Currently, city ordinance does not allow food trucks, mobile vendors to operate unless all food is prepackaged. Our goal is to introduce a revised ordinance to allow food trucks and open food on a limited basis. Amendment. Until such date, please follow my revised executive order. And all of it. 19-01. I don't know if there's any sequence before that, but we have a problem if there is. Until this ordinance is passed, the city manager will be responsible for reviewing and approving all mobile vendor/food truck with open food applications, signed by the city manager. Not in the executive order is any criteria. Nothing. There's no standards. There's no nothing.
You're talking about inspections and so forth and so on.
Whatever is going on. This is lawlessness. Not him. It's not his. He's an honorable man. I know he wouldn't do anything wrong. That's not
Right.
the point. You would have been better off passing the initial ordinance and say, we'll come back to it. We see there's problems. Instead of creating how does a person in business know what City Manager Ehrenberg is going to require going in? What's it cost?
Right.
What are the standards? How do I know if he doesn't like what I look like, which he wouldn't do, but someone else would do? You can't do this. Respond, please.
Well, the executive order part, I was going to, respond to it. He has the right to, I don't want to say override us. He can't override the laws of an ordinance. If it was a set ordinance,
There is no ordinance. John.
no, I'm saying if we pass the ordinance, like you said, Mr. Salkin, does he have the right to change it
No.
because of executive order?
No.
So therefore, they wouldn't be able to allow them to function in the way that we're trying to get them to function at these events. Like, let's take the breweries, for instance. That's basically what is the driving force here, I think. The rule of law, I understand your point. There probably should be some type of language that needs to be followed on what needs to happen.
No such animal, Mayor. You know that.
I understand, but if the
I know
ordinance is
intentions
passed,
are good.
he can't break the ordinance. So I'm going to defer. What's your take on this,
Well,
Counselor?
I mean, obviously, it's not the ideal situation, but certainly any governmental action has to be taken, reasonably and with appropriate due process. I see this as essentially, filling the gap until a better solution can be reached. Certainly it would be best to have an ordinance. It's why we're moving forward to do that. But the fact is that, food trucks were operating. We're not in a situation where we're going to be out there, ticketing, towing, food trucks for operating if they're willing to be reasonable, because the reasons, as we talked about before, they do provide a benefit to the city. So, the city manager, as the head of, the administrative portion of government here, he has some discretion on how he uses his enforcement authority and what he chooses to devote the city resources towards. So I think what I see happening here is he's saying, hey, look, if you're going to at least come to us, give us the information we need to make sure you're going to operate safely and reasonably. We're not going to be in the business of trying to, create a massive problem for food trucks, because we know this is a problem. The council's looking to address it. So I'd agree with you. It's not the perfect solution, but given the circumstances, it's probably the best one that we have available to us.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you the example right back at you. Remember when you did your valet parking, and I got up and said, there's a problem because of
Right.
ambiguity. You didn't table it, you didn't amend it. You said, well, let's just pass it, and there's a problem, we'll come back to it. You could have done that here, because I recall, with respect to the food truck orders, I know I'm a little bit over, I'll try to finish it. There was a limit, 7 per year. So you go forward. You could have been back in here in 2 weeks, amending the thing. I'm just saying, look.
Well,
There's laws that
I
exist
will
for a
say this,
reason.
and you
with all due respect to the city attorney, I understand it. I understand the intentions, and I know this is an honorable man who wouldn't do anything untoward. I know.
Let me-
I don't want. I'm not even begging for a candy bar.
no
I
Snickers.
know. But
Get the
you
Snickers
can't
ready.
do it this way. You know that, and you
But
know it. You've been in 10 years. You know.
The one thing I would disagree, this type of government, probably more than anybody in this room, entitles the city manager to a lot of power.
You know what? I got his ordinance too.
A
Not
lot
to do
of,
that.
a lot of
He
power.
can't legislate, John. He
But
cannot legislate.
There's a trust factor here where we
That's
trust the
not a
city
question.
manager to do the right thing. We know they're gonna have to come in and go through the due diligence of getting all the permits and inspections required. We trust them with
You
that.
put him in this position. That's the bad part.
Well-
You didn't. You shouldn't have done that. That's what I'm saying.
All right,
Better solution.
point well taken.
Could,
Thank you.
Sure,
Mayor, can I make a comment?
absolutely.
The council meeting, I'm between a rock and a hard place, to begin, and everybody knows that. So the city has no ordinance to permit food trucks. I have some people who are residents that come to these meetings who stood at this microphone, she's got her pen near her mouth, who said, just let them do it till you figure this out. The problem is we need a procedure, because I can't just let people willy-nilly. So let me just
What's
finish.
the procedure?
The procedure is, until I can sort out this ordinance, I didn't want to prevent food trucks from being operated. So that's my intent.
When I played tennis, I like to have a net.
I will promise you, the second that I get some free, I'm gonna do, to the public,
always a
the
late
minute
career
I can
change.
get this thing resolved, I will resolve it. I do not want this responsive, but I also don't want to prevent people from proceeding with either livelihood or the events that are necessary for a food truck.
Here's the thing. It's not your problem. They're the legislature. He's the city attorney. It shouldn't fall on your hands, my friend. Although I know you get the big bucks. Now you gotta earn them.
Ouch.
I'll get no candy bars.
Hello, Mr. Servo.
I'm looking to make a
Rich.
safe passage out of here.
Halloween, it's your day.
Oh my God, that's two that he got.
Thank
You
you.
got a sweet
Just
tooth.
waiting for you. You complained you didn't get one. It's sitting here. Get it. Come get it.
It's like a soap
I'm
opera.
Rich Serbo. I live at 46 Spring Valley Avenue in Hackensack. All right, let's talk about a few things. I know this is the city municipal meeting, but last night I went to a Board of Education meeting. Oh my God. John, you better show up there, because I don't know what the hell is going on there. They had some kind of a little award thing for advanced programs, and all the administrators stand around. talk about six figures and salaries, Mr. Salkin. Everybody just stands around, and the students, they can't even speak clearly, okay? I didn't understand a word any student or administrator said. I'm listening, like, is there something wrong with my hearing? They don't even they have no diction at all, okay? It's a sad, horrible situation. Please show up at the Board of Ed meeting and get some get some control over the board again, the way it used to be years ago. I'm telling you, it is out of control. They don't know what the hell they're doing, and they control half the damn budget, okay? All right, so that's first. Number two is, I don't really see this city coming together. I know you have this big development project going on, but everything is scattered here and there. There's no nothing to the city. Or like someone once said out in Oakland, California, there's no there in Hackensack, for sure, okay? So please, can you pull this city together? A guy that, you know, is a leader, someone that has skills. Our city manager is our city manager. You're the mayor. John, how about some leadership in the city and getting this thing on track to proceed and become a city again? It's a mess. It's a garbage dump, okay? And when are they going to finish some of these projects? I'm shocked. Okay, lastly, there's a lot of dark places around the city. No, I don't mean it that way. I know we can't light up every corner, every street, but you got to look into how dark some of these areas are. That there's no street lights. Okay, I was on Prospect Avenue yesterday. Okay, and I came to a sudden stop with a woman and a baby stroller. And I stopped short and I said, oh my God, she crossed in front of me and she just waved like, oh, thanks a lot. Pitch black, right on Prospect where Golf Place is. Really, check it out, okay? I told the police officer at the high school when I got there at the board meeting. So please just check it out.
Will do.
And there's many other places where you'll see someone walking, and it's so damn dark you can't see anyone. Okay, please.
Just for the record, the police department reports street lights out. PSE&G bills us for lights because there's no meters. So the first thing that we've done since I've been here is that we capture that information and make sure we send a list to PSE&G to make sure that these streets are lined. And Kathy did it before and still does. So it is you're going to get your Katie Barton. Just let him finish. So my point is that we're trying to do this, but as the mayor and council knows, we also get charged for this, and there are many sections, no argument, that need to be illuminated, and obviously we're going to new style lights or LEDs that are brighter, and we're changing this because of the efficiency, because LEDs use less power. But it takes the transformation of all of this some time. But Prospect is dark. Dangerous. I get here very early in the morning. It's dark when I get here. Some nights it's certainly dark when I leave here. So I appreciate your efforts.
Okay, and I don't want to be on time.
Here. It'll make it better. It'll make it better.
Okay, Kathleen Salvo, Hackensack. All right, off the record, because I had taught Leo this from way before about the streetlights. The heads are different. They have three bulbs. It's called the green head. It has a small bulb that's a donut, has a mid-sized bulb, and then it has a bulb that does the entire light. Because this was invented by men, you don't just change the bulb. You have to change the whole head. So when I was working with our project manager, the good one, Flanagan, we knew this, and we had to call public service, and they have to write it. They're going to charge you more because they're telling you you're saving electricity, but you're not, because we pay for these lights whether they're on or not. Prospect Avenue needs the big ones on everyone. In front of Sorkin's house, where he lives, they have the small donut. Because that time you made me fix that pole, I looked and I said, it's too dark here. Prospect Avenue on every street light should have the bigger one because it's a bigger street. On the corners, they put the bigger one. So the whole head has to be changed. Now, the gentleman that was speaking about Prospect Avenue, they all should do like they did on South Main Street, those apartments. They all put decorative lights in front of their property. So if anybody wants to jog or walk, they do the entire light, and it should be at their expense. We did it and so they should be doing this. These projects, all the people that have the condo boards or whatever, they should have one uniform light that they get. You get a discount from and you maintain those lights, and you put them all along Prospect. We did it on South Main Street, and those were like affordable apartments. Prospect Avenue should have no problem in doing this. So we can illuminate Prospect Avenue. But I always take care of your parking lot because I do that with David Hayes, and we always changing your spotlights and all the lights that are out. Okay, so you can stop my thing going now. My other problem. ECDC. I've been there for 2 weeks, getting wet in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, at 2:30 to 3:30 when the kids get out. We sat down, and Steffi knows about how bad it was there. Now that we have the M&M parking lot, we have it back. The teachers are off the street, and they have X amount of parking spaces there, as they do Holt Street. We have a blocked off. We have this excellent crossing guard, Chris. He crosses, everybody parks in the lot, and they cross at the crosswalk, and they go get their kids. But he's only one crossing guard. There is nobody to cross the people that walk, and we do have people that walk. I never realized this. I thought it was just buses and mothers who had cars. We have a lot of little immigrants that walk, little people that take care of the kids. They have strollers and they cross, and there's nobody to cross them from the street to the location of St. Francis, of the whole block. When it was the church, we had 4 crossing guards. Now we only have 1. They also need, officers that stay in the school. They don't have one. They were promised one 2 years ago. Because that office, the resource officers, that officer would stay there, and we can't have people mid-street crossing. They cross behind the buses are backing up, and it's a disaster. I'm like, my pressure goes up every day. Captain Foley has been very helpful. She's spared one of her men, because we're short men, from traffic. She gave us John Squalace last week. He was excellent, because what we're doing, we're telling the people why and how we want them to do it. Because we sat down, we wrote this. We sat down with the bus department, with the police department, with the youth division, with the teachers, with the neighbors, and we comprised a plan how to make this work. And it's safer than it was, but it still needs to be perfected. And with 2 more people, we can get this right. And John Squalace was excellent last week. He told the people why they couldn't do it, to please cross at the crosswalk. We explained to the people, because all the notices you send home, nobody reads the notices. But when you talk to these people and you tell them what they have to do and why, they understand. We also have no parking on South Main, so all the buses go Lourdes.
Okay.
Now this is important. This is all safety stuff.
Everything that everybody says.
All
is
right, well,
important.
anyway,
This is
we also have an agreement with the bus department that they can't come up the other way, so we can have the flow of traffic. So all I'm asking is for another crossing guard, because we need to cross the people.
all these issues can be dealt with,
Okay,
Mr.
and
Aaron Berg
a
on
drop-off place
offline.
for the little kids that the mothers can't get out of the car. They have to come to the point because they have babies in the car. It's really a hardship. It's dangerous.
Thank you, Mr. Tapasqua. Give her a candy bar.
Regina. Thank you. Well, maybe. Let's see what you do at the microphone here, and then we'll
okay,
talk.
so we're earned.
Well, I
Thank
am
you.
Mr. Salk in the back on retainer, so
trick or treat.
we'll negotiate.
Trick or treat, yeah, I know.
Regina De Pasqua. Yes, I was the one in the back with the pen by my mouth that I said the status quo, and the reason being is because small businesses were getting hurt. That's was my reasoning. So I felt I needed to get up now and defend myself. Now, I wasn't going to get up, but then Mr. Serbo maligned the students, and I was there last night. It was a beautiful presentation.
Everything was wonderful. If he couldn't hear them, must have been him. It was a beautiful presentation. Your disrespect is more about you than about the students. Okay? Yeah, that's your opinion.
No one speaks clearly.
All right,
Can you
guys.
gavel him down, please?
Mr. Serbo, please. She's entitled to her 3 minutes to say what she wants. You can speak with her after her 3 minutes is up.
I was shocked.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, it was a beautiful joint meeting with Maywood, South Hackensack, Rochelle Park, and the students, the programs, even a program with the hospital, with the high school. It was very good, and I think they are doing well in the high school. They're packed in other schools, but I think the high school is doing okay right now. Do we know where they might be putting crosswalks on Prospect?
I'd have to go back and look or ask Mr. Smith. I know golf was one of the issues, American Legion
There
Drive,
were two
one of the
locations.
issues.
There was, they wanted to put a crosswalk across from American Legion.
American
Drive
Legion.
was one, golf was one, and there was one additional, I'd have to go through
Barry.
my notes.
Barry.
Barry, thank you.
Okay,
That's
American Legion, not so great. I take Prospect Avenue to work from end to end every day. And American Legion has that little dip and the bridge, and the sightlines aren't
The
great.
problem is with the bridge at 8 o'clock in the morning, everybody crosses there because the bus stop is on the bridge.
I get it.
So that
Yeah, and that's the other
Titles them a
thing.
way to get over.
We need to start giving out jaywalking tickets.
Oh, please.
absolutely
I have no
need
idea
to.
how I agree with that one.
Oh, I have always said driving down Prospect Avenue is like playing a game of Frogger, but I'm not trying to hit them, okay? Because they just run out in front of you. And at golf, there was a woman with a baby carriage this morning, and there's no crosswalk there. And I'm heading north, and the car went past. I didn't see her, and it was daylight. It wasn't night, and I slowed down.
Same lady.
That's what I was saying when he said it. And fortunately, she had an orange jacket on that I could see. It was a little gray this morning, but I slowed down along there because I know there's a lot of crossing. But giving jaywalking tickets, I'd be all
I
for it.
spend my day looking at when, the
Yeah.
amount of
I mean,
jaywalking by pedestrians in the city is just.
all you have to do is the cop could sit there in a chair and write them up.
Mayor, I just wanted to say that there are 3 E's to traffic enforcement: engineering, enforcement, and education. Yes, 42 years, I remember it. So the point is, that lieutenant in uniform is a new component that has been added because there's going to be a command staff person from the police department at every council meeting going forward. Because we need to work on the communications so they get direct feedback, so they understand not just the importance, but the relationship to get this fixed. So everybody understands that a police department that's not enforcing the jaywalking component of it, you can educate all these people, we can teach classes on that. Unfortunately, we just had another fatal of someone that crossed.
On
Johnson Ave.
And unfortunately, the end result of this, however, I've discussed individually and collectively with council members, we also don't have the ability to control human behavior, and if people choose to walk out in the middle of the road, close their eyes. I get here early in the morning, I have people with their hoodies up, earbuds in, they don't even look. They think that now that they cross the street wherever they choose to is some protected classification. And as I tell my children, the cemetery is full of people that were dead right.
Yeah.
Dead right, but they're dead. So the point is, they need to
Interesting, I like
also
that.
take the extra step because the ordinance covers for it, or the state statute covers for it. But unfortunately, their actions don't speak loud because they will be silenced. We're collectively in the same group. We are working on solutions.
Okay, I appreciate it, because all the crosswalks in the world aren't going to stop people from jaywalking. But a ticket, that might do it.
Yeah, a little sting goes a long way. Agreed.
Okay. Anyone else?
I still only get one?
I ate one already.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
I ate one already.
All right, so now I'll call you.
Sir?
All right, good evening, council. Again, my name is Jeffrey Bolano from Johnson Avenue. I tend to agree with the gentleman about the city coming together. like I said, I did go to the Slam Dunk, the Junk, last Saturday, and there was a lot of people missing there that I feel that should have been there. A lot of the public don't know who the city manager is. A lot of people don't know who the city attorney is. Just miss opportunities to be outside with the public, just to show face so the public knows who you are. I mean, if you look at this room, the city's not here. There's only a certain amount of people that are here. I wish the Hackensack Police Department was there, especially with the atmosphere that we have in this country between the public and the police department, the fire department. I'm a member of the Army Reserve 668 Engineers in Orangeburg, New York. If I'm able to set up something where military personnel comes out and just interacts with the public, shows that we're here, that would be amazing. Pedestrian traffic, it's a big thing. New Jersey state law says that vehicles must yield to pedestrians. I live on the corner of Johnson Avenue and Voorhees Place, right across the street from our newest brewery. And I'll tell you right now that a lot of people do park on Voorhees Place and cross that street. The sun's going down earlier and earlier.
And that's on a turn, too.
That's a blind curve. It's only a matter of time before somebody gets hit, and it's minimalistic on just having maybe cones out. The yield
We
to
just had
pedestrians.
somebody hit almost right there. Wasn't it close to that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was the elderly lady that got hit was 2 blocks away.
Okay.
But that's a blind corner, so I would really look into that location. Just when people are crossing, especially when you go into the brewery to drink, so crossing gets a little impeded. And lastly, I know you guys are doing some work on Temple Avenue when it comes to flooding. Is there any projects that are including catch basins on Johnson Avenue?
Including catch basins? New
That
projects?
include catch basins on Johnson Avenue, because we have none. I live on Johnson Avenue ever since I was 8 years old. I'm 30
I'll
now.
have him look into
There are
that.
no
There's
catch
got to be
basins.
something somewhere. So they might run down a side street like Voorhees or something.
So Voorhees Place and Johnson Avenue, I live on that corner,
Right,
and
nothing?
whenever it's a lot of flooding, a lot of rain, it's been on my lawn over the sidewalk. So there are no catch basins. I don't know if it's a county road. I know Kinderkamack is going up, but I don't know if Johnson Avenue is a county road. So if you could get information from me, I really appreciate it.
Do you have contact information you could give to him?
Yeah, I could give it to him after the 3 minutes. And
Cell phone or whatever, so he can call
absolutely.
you.
And like I said, just have more community involvement. I mean, the taxpayers pay for the salaries of a lot of individuals in this room, and I don't like to have these missed opportunities to reach out to the community. Thank you.
Fair enough. Thank you, Jeffrey. Anybody else in the public like to speak? Motion to close to the public?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we need to go back into closed session, so go ahead.
Do your
You gotta give the,
council comments first?
Yes. Council comments first, so Stephanie.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Earlier at the Committee of the Whole meeting, there was discussion about plastic bags, a ban on plastic bags. As I was up here, I was kind of thinking of an idea, and it piggybacks on what Regina was saying about Sigma Free and also the Environmental Commission. I know in Oradell and Kinderkamack Road, a lot of the stores there have, it looks like community groups go and paint the different windows of the stores. So I was thinking maybe if we were going to do any kind of initiative in the town, whether it's a ban on plastic bags or a stigma-free event, maybe having the different groups come together and do like a window painting event with the Main Street Alliance. Maybe that's a way to bring a few of the groups together and utilize the stores on Main Street and Aldi's and kind of, giving different messages out to the communities. You could have the Boy Scouts involved. So that was just something I was thinking of, and I'll reach out to Regina and the Environmental Commission and maybe see if that's something that we could work with the Main Street Alliance to kind of do a whole initiative together, and kind of bring kids into it and different groups into it. So I just wanted to mention that. I was at the Slam Dunk event on Saturday, and I think it was a great turnout. We had so many different groups. We did have a lot of people there from the city. Just to follow up on what the gentleman was just saying up here, National Night Out, that's a big night where a lot of the city employees, the police department, the fire department, they come out. I know the one year it was ruined because we had a bad storm, but I think down the pike, maybe if we want some more involvement, if you want to get involved, maybe trying to plan something bigger, maybe in Fashini Park. I know Teaneck does a really big night out event where they are and trying to, bridge that gap, like you said, having more of the emergency response people there. But that is a great night to come out and kind of talk with them and meet the different city employees. And it's always a big success. On the agenda tonight, there is the Fashini Park installation of the check valves. It's the first step in trying to alleviate the flooding down at Fashini, which is definitely well needed. A lot of, the baseball season and football season has been washed out because of the rain. Even the other day when it was raining, the whole fields were, completely flooded. So you have fall ball, you have football, you have baseball going on, and the kids can't even utilize the field. So I think this will be a good first step to kind of see what we can do about the flooding, and then hopefully revisit those fields and try to get more of the kids down there, because it is a great park. I mean, there's a lot of fields down there and it should be utilized more and, for different events, and you just really can't get down there if there's any rain. This Halloween, Thursday's this Halloween on Clinton Place. It's been a little slow this year because of the rain, but the Crime Stoppers will be set up there, taking donations and having a little event down there, so stop by and see them. And Baseball of Hackensack will also be having their first annual Tricky Tray beefsteak on November 15th. That's a Friday night if anyone is interested in coming to that. But other than that, have a good night and thank you for coming out.
Okay, thanks, Steph. First I'd like to say, again, it was wonderful having Pastor Jackson here. He will be sorely missed. Such a prominent person in the community and has helped and influenced so many lives and so many folks. It was great that we had him here tonight and, got to wish him well as everyone has. A couple of things on the agenda tonight. We see bonds and some contracts for a lot of sewer work. And Stephanie was just talking about what's going on in Fashini Park. Again, this is part of the plan that we've been talking about for a long time. We know that we have some serious issues with flooding, and we certainly have overflows into the river that the DEP is kind of clamping down on us. What you saw tonight was to do some work on Main Street. Again, we've talked about this before, where we have to work from the river west so that we continue the flow of the water. So by separating the stormwater, we have a natural place for it to go. So River Street is done and Moore Street is separated. So Main Street is the next logical place, and then working up all the connectivity all the way to State Street. So that's kind of what you see on here tonight. In addition, someone was talking about Voorhees Lane. We have some pump repair that has to be going on there, so there's an ordinance to definitely look into that and make sure that it's functioning and fix it so that it's functioning adequately, correctly. Also, some are looking into Pine Street issues and again Fashini Park. So those are the main sewer and storm water activities that you see mentioned tonight on the docket. Someone raised a question, I think it was Mr. Salkin, I don't know if he left already, about his concerns about funding. And first of all, we continue to work on grant money, especially for a lot of the sewer work. There is grant money available. Unfortunately, you have to document these events and start progress with a plan towards these events to be able to pursue that grant money. But of course, all grant monies we get is definitely applied towards doing the sewer work. And this is a big initiative in the state. So we're a very great partner in working together with them to attain this grant money. Jim, our CFO, isn't here, but he is a wonderful strategist as far as debt management. And he definitely looks at the best ways to manage our debt, whether it be temporarily short-term notes until other loans, et cetera, are coming off the rolls. So he very carefully monitors that the impact to our debt is not going to affect our bottom line or our taxes. In addition, yes, we are looking into the return on our investment for the development that's happening in town, especially out a couple of years when we really see it make a significant difference. And let's not forget the monies that are coming in from the medical center. We've talked about this before. We are receiving an additional $4 million from the medical center as part of a host community agreement. And most recently, for their development of their new tower, because they are closing partially parts of 2nd Street, while that construction is taking place for a minimum of 4 years, the city will be receiving an additional $2 million a year from the medical center to abate those costs. So we are taking this money as well and utilizing it for many things. One, to stabilize taxes, as you saw. We were true to our forecast that this year there would be no municipal tax increase, and we're planning on doing that again for the next 4 years. But also using some of that money to do the much-needed sewer work that's in the city. So when you put these things together, yes, we don't see it affecting the bottom line, and we're preventing it from impacting our taxpayers. We're taking the money that we have and that we're receiving, and we're spending it wisely to fix these infrastructure things that have long been overlooked. As far as the food truck issue that was brought up, I thank Ted for stepping up and taking the hit on this. We know we did not want to negatively impact any of our small businesses, and I think that to say that we cannot have food trucks until the new ordinance is in place, I think is a little harsh. So I think we have a way that we're going to work together as a community, and I think that's very important to see that we support our local businesses as well. And a reminder, I talked a lot about this last time, the Teterboro Airport, the event that's held for the Teterboro Airport Noise Abatement Committee is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The topics of tomorrow night, the FAA is supposed to be there tomorrow to talk about the progress of the alternate flight path. I know many folks in the city have been very interested in that. So that discussion is supposed to be happening tomorrow night. Now, I keep my fingers crossed because many times they say they're coming and then something happens at the last minute. But the plan is that they should be there along with some other towns that might be seeing an impact. So if you're interested and you might want to hear what's happening or have your voice heard, please come to that meeting. I will be there. I am the liaison from the city to that organization, so I will definitely be there. But 7 o'clock, Teterboro Airport, hope to see some of you there. Thanks and have a nice evening.
Thank you. David?
Reverend Jackson, 35 years, amazing. As the new president of Lock Carry, you have our blessings. As you can see, there are balloons in the room here, and those balloons represent the earth, and Reverend Jackson will be traveling all over the world doing missionary work. Holding the balloons up is luggage. He's gonna need plenty of luggage. So thank you, Reverend. Slam dunk the junk. Slam dunk the junk. I want to thank all the different organizations that came out to clean this beautiful city. This year we had a new group, FDU tennis team came out. They helped. 4 out of the 5 council people were there. Mr. Jeff, after I left there, me personally, I went over by the rec center to a Halloween party and a pumpkin contest that I judged. So we are out here, Jeff. This Saturday, there will be a concert at the Hackensack. There's still seats available to see Donnie McClurkin. The box office opens from 9 to 5. They have some $40 tickets left. Thank you for coming out. Good night.
Okay. Leo?
Congratulations again to Reverend Jackson, and thank you for the many years of service to this community. I mentioned, I think in more than 2 or 3 occasions, to the person in charge of the PSG. I was in a couple of meetings inside there, and I mentioned to him when we used to get together for different reasons that we got a problem with the lights in the city. And like Kathy says, it's true that there's no way that they can do it just overnight because they don't have to replace the light bulb, they have to replace the whole head. So this isn't going to be an easy task, but I agree 100% that it's a poor lighting in the city, and that's a recipe for fatalities in the city. And the other problem is the bicycle. Sometimes when you are driving at night, these bicycles, they don't have no lights in the front, no light in the back. The person in the bicycle don't have no reflective vest or anything. And the problem is not only for the person that's going to get hit by a car, it's for the driver too. If the person is injured or dead or whatever, then we have to hire a lawyer to defend ourselves for something that really is not our fault. When you are driving at night, it's difficult to see a person 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, they're coming from working in restaurants or whatever, and they don't have no way that you can see the person in the street. Poor lighting. Nothing in the person that you can see that what is in front of you you are looking for problems, and it's nothing that the driver can do sometimes. The city is doing as much as we can to try to prevent problems in the street. Traffic lights, reflected signs, sign with LEDs, and now you got even, they got time, they say 20 seconds to cross the street. We are doing so many things, but the people, like Regina said, they jaywalking, they think they are protected when they go on the crosswalk. How many times in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, when sometimes I take a ride with the city manager, people crossing in front of the car, they think that they are protected by God or something. It's crazy, you know? There's nothing the driver can do. And the friend of the city manager, when Jeff is saying that he has to show up to different events, this man sometimes here at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, and today maybe gonna be home maybe by 12 o'clock. There's no way that when we got a short event, the guy gonna drive an hour to come, an hour back to back home, and the weekend to me I think it's too much. So you can stay home.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Where we got the problems around the school continue, and there's no question that the Board of Education has to educate the kids and the parents. There's no way that you're gonna have police officers all over the place controlling people walking in the middle of the street, parents calling the kid from the other side, and the kid has to cross the street. Sometimes they're gonna get hit by a car, by the bus. The Board of Education has to do a better job to try to educate the students and the parents. You know, the city is doing as much as we can to try to prevent problems, but the people don't listen. I agree, they should be get tickets for jaywalking, double parking, and anything that don't make sense. But it's up to you to enforce the rules. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming too.
All right. Congratulations again to Reverend Jackson, 35 years, not just as a reverend in this city, but as a pillar in the community. Has served the city, the state, country, other countries. He's been all over the world preaching good stuff. He's a great man. Like I said, I've known him quite a while. Our kids grew up together and got to know him a lot better since I got on this council. And he's going to be missed. And like I said, whoever is taking that job better have some big feet, because they got to fill some big shoes right there. And he's, going to be missed. But he's going to be close by, so we still get to see him. That's a good thing. Was mentioned before that yesterday was Emergency Responders Day. It was yesterday, right?
Yes.
And, we should always give thanks to our emergency responders. They're out there laying their lives down on the line, day in, day out, fire, police, EMS, all of them, ambulance drivers. So kudos to those guys, and they deserve more than a day a year. Plastic bags, we're going to definitely take this into consideration. I think it's a great thing if we can get, it's amazing where you will find a plastic bag. You could be in the middle of the woods, 5 miles in hiking, and you'll find plastic bags. They're everywhere. So if I have no problem getting rid of them, believe me. I just want to make sure we work in harmony with our businesses in town, that that they're aware of what's going to be happening and how we break it in. So that's important. Stephanie alluded to the Fashini Park check valve, which is, thank God. I can tell you this: I've spent a good chunk of my younger life down in Fashini Park coaching, and the flooding wasn't as bad back 20, 25, 30 years ago as it is now. And I don't know whether it's because it's settled, because of the river silt buildup, but we're getting more water in the park than we ever did. So hopefully this check valve will definitely help keeping the water out. But we have some other things possibly down the line that we're looking at to help with the flooding in that park, because it's a great park and we can't lose it to water. These kids need a place to play, and we need those fields. Mr. Servo, you're still here. I respectfully disagree with you. I think the city of Hackensack is not a garbage dump. I think this council is very proud of the work being done in the city. It's come a long way in the last 4 or 5 years. Understood that redevelopment is burdensome, rough on traffic, and it takes a long time. We understand that, but, you know, there's an old saying you always allude to, different, you know, authors and poets, but you know, there's an old one that Rome wasn't built in a day, and no pain, no gain, and there's a lot of different sayings, and that all fits here. But it's all about the future and where it's going to be, and you know, creating a new downtown in one of the busiest counties or most densely populated counties in the country, and rebuilding a downtown it's a big thing, and it's going to pay dividends. It's going to help the city with taxes. It's going to help the city with its infrastructure, and it's going to be a bright future ahead for our city. So I'm looking forward to see it continue to grow. Jaywalking, as a safety officer, is my safety specialist, is my job. I go crazy when I see it. I see it all the time. And I'll be honest, there's times I've crossed the street where I probably shouldn't have, but what I see today is totally different. At least when I cross the street where I shouldn't have, I look, I pay attention, there's nobody coming. Yeah, I'll go. I'm not going to walk 2 blocks to a crosswalk. I'll fess up to that. But I'll see people literally walking diagonally across the street on a cell phone or looking at something else, totally oblivious to whether there's cars coming. It's amazing, and Leo kind of hit on it, that people think they own the road when they cross the street. They figure the minute they put their foot out on that pavement, it's mine, everybody has to stop. Well, that's not true. And I think one of our officers is here tonight would probably tell you that if you, as an adult, cross the street in the middle of the block and get hit by a car, you're on your own. You're not protected by a crosswalk if you're not in it, okay? And yeah, you're dead right, but you're dead. So that's a great quote. I like that. And I think we need to put a program together. I'd love for the police department and the council and everybody else to get on board to come up with a jaywalking blitz in this city to go after some of it. The hospital recently had something, I think it was called Heads Up, where you walk around the area paying attention to what you're doing. And Essex Street is amazing because Essex and Prospect, there's crosswalk right there, along with the signal that tells you when you can walk. And I see probably 40, 50 people a day cross at Simple Simon. And I'm like, it's 40 feet away. Walk up the block, you know? But they just won't do it. And people are funny that way until they get hit by a car. And people drive fast. There's a lot of things influence. There's a lot of different distractions now that didn't exist when I was younger, especially cell phones, probably the worst. And stuff inside your car, phones in your car, texting. I mean, you know, it's a recipe for disaster when you got a guy texting in his car and a person texting while they're walking, because they're going to meet under pretty bad circumstances. So anyway, I'd like to see a program put together, do a citywide blitz, because it's important, and you know, it's our job to protect the people, and jaywalking is a big problem in this city. So especially if there's bad lighting too. So anyway, everybody, happy Halloween to everybody out there, especially to all the little kids. Be careful out there if you're out there with the kids. It's supposed to rain on Thursday, so stay dry, and everybody get home safe. Thank you. Now we still have to go in the back, so all right. We will be coming back out to close the meeting shortly, but.
I gotta bring you a copy of the calendar on the Spanish side. Get to know some change.
Right. Okay.
You're not going to
Now can I have a motion to close the council meeting?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Have a nice evening, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.